Hey guys, Adam aka Perv McSwerve here for another episode of Perv Answers Emails. So, Green92 Star writes, I have this situation where my bone press stretched flaccid length is gaining way faster than my bone pressed erect length. That is to say, the gap between my BPSFL and BPEL is widening in favor of the stretched flaccid length. The gap has widened from 13 millimeters to 19 millimeters over the last few months. Any thoughts on this? Well, Green92 Star, yes, I do have thoughts on that. As a community, we've seen that when you start to face about a 5% discrepancy between your bone pressed, and that's when you press the ruler all the way to the bone, and your that's your erect length versus your stretched length, which is to say where you grab the head of the penis and pull outward to see how long of a stretched flaccid you have. When that discrepancy exceeds about 5%, what we've realized is that you've created enough space to where now what you need to do is you actually need to fill in that space. So think about it sort of like those long balloons that clowns blow up as party tricks, okay? So what we've essentially done is we've taken the balloon and we've stretched it so that it can hold more air. Now we need to create more air. In this case, it's not air, it's actually blood. So what we need to do is we need to create more blood holding tissue. The way that we do that is by oxygen deprivation, aka blood flow restriction. So things like clamping, or even sort of like base gel holds, those kinds of things can be really helpful in this situation. What you're trying to do is you're trying to drive a certain amount of hypoxia, that is to say a lack of oxygen to the cells. What that does is it's going to trigger the penis to create more endothelial tissue, and that's where you're going to be holding the blood in the corpus cavernosum of the penis. So again, to reiterate, to summarize, when you see a gap of 5% or more between your bone pressed erect versus your bone press stretched, then it's time to add in some hypoxic work. As a short aside, most girth work does tend to be sort of synonymous with hypoxic training. That is to say, things like clamping or even pumped clamping. I'm very cautious to recommend pumped clamping, but it is something that some people do with some frequency. So it can be helpful. But yeah, that's the answer to your question, Green92 Star, is that it's time to fill in that space that you've created successfully, which good job on creating space. Now we just have to fill it with some new blood holding tissue. That's all for this episode, guys, and I'll see you next time.